the money that you have yours? Is the house that you own yours? Is any of it yours? You piss off a government. Piss off a government and tell me what's still yours. And you'll soon learn that none of it is yours. You think you own it. That's my money. I worked for it. I paid my taxes on it, so it's mine. No, it's not.
So bearing that in mind, are you worried about what you own? Because if it's not yours, they can take it away, and you are speaking out against them.
I don't own anything.
I've heard you say that a few times.
So can you explain that?
Can you enlighten that? You own nothing.
I don't own anything. I'm just some dude.
I think you have a Bugatti though, don't you?
Yeah, when you say nothing, do you mean
do you not
nothing?
own it?
Nothing.
Okay, that's good.
I don't own anything. There are cars. Let's say there's a
that you have access to.
Correct. a trust in Singapore may own a percentage of a company in Dubai, which may have access to a car that I could borrow on a social media influence contract, perhaps.
Yeah.
But I don't own anything. And that's because if you own things, they come for you. Elon Musk tweeted it the other day. Someone tweeted Elon saying, what is the countdown until they raid Elon Musk's home for releasing the truth about what the FBI is doing with the election interference? And his response was, I don't have a home. You get to a certain level of wealth where you're like, you know what? It's easier just to not have things. I don't have anything. I can rent anything I want. If I want to stay in London for the next 10 years, I can walk into the Dorchester and take the presidential suite at £20,000 a day for the next 20 years. So who cares? I don't need a house. It's like you just get beyond that point with money. So it's kind of like this middle ground. When you're broke, you own nothing, and then you start doing well and you own a bunch of stuff, and then you get to the top and you're just trying to get rid of it all. Don't want to own anything anymore.
Well, E-Man said when we interviewed him, he said he didn't want to be a billionaire. He said as soon as you get to that sort of level, they'll start controlling you and manipulating you. So do you have a similar thought pattern on that?
It's very hard to not become a billionaire in the world today, I think, if you're truly influential. I'm already a billionaire if I had to have my net worth measured.
That would have been one of my questions.
You can answer, no, I'm a billionaire. Yeah, so net worth.
What are you bringing into that? Are you bringing in your whole brand as a part of that value?
Well, yeah, net worth is subjective, right? So Forbes contacted me to put me on the billionaire list, and they wanted to know everything I owned, and I told them I don't own anything, and they like, okay, well, they want to know my income, and I said, look, I'll declare to you, I'll show you maybe 20 million a month or something, and they said, okay, but the value, obviously, then you value the companies those things come from, right? You can take some of my companies people know about, like The Real World, which was previously Hustlers University. If I have a business that is making $20 million profit a month, and it is an online educational platform, the largest one in the world, and it's a subscription model, and you put an 8 times multiplier on the profit, which most tech companies could achieve, that's an $800 million business.
But could you sell one business? Could you sell that business without you attached to it, though?
Well, that's the point. That's a good question. That's a very good question. And that's where, and I never would sell it anyway, but I know what you're saying. But then it comes into other things like branding and the brand. I'm the most Googled man on the planet. They can't ban me from algorithms. They failed. I'm the most TikToked person on the planet, the most viewed person on Instagram. Like, what's the value of that? You could give me, who makes these glasses? IKEA? This might be IKEA.
I'm not sure.
IKEA could come to me with this glass and say, sell a bunch of these. And I could sell $1 billion of these glasses. It'd take me a week. So like when I get offers, trust me, I get a lot of them. I'm not a fucking scammer like Logan Paul. I'm not a clown. But when crypto companies come to me and say, will you pump our coin? They start by offering me $50 to $65 million. They say, look, we'll give you $65 million if you'll mention this coin on a podcast. $65 million to say a name. And I don't do it because I refuse to allow my fans to get ripped off like Logan Paul does to his fans. He's a fucking scumbag.
So what is your view on that whole crypto zoo situation? Because CoffeeZilla is doing an investigation at the moment, and it is quite gripping, isn't it?
The dude's a clown. He's a person who doesn't care about his fans. He just wants to make as much money as possible off the back of people who watch him. It's different with me. I genuinely want every single tape fan, anybody who listens to what I say, to have an improved life. I want their life to be better for listening to me, whether it's in their relationship or whether it's in their physical stature or their financial capability. The idea of a 16-year-old spending their last money on a coin because I said so, and them losing money would bother me at night.
And they will lose it.
And they will lose. Of course they'll lose. Crypto is, this is what most people don't even understand about the crypto market. It's player versus player. You can only sell it for $10 after buying it for $1 because someone's buying it at $10. Someone is out to lose. So you can't launch a coin and nobody loses. This is why I haven't launched a crypto. I can make $10 billion today if I launched a crypto, but I refuse to do it because people are going to lose under my name.
Yeah, and it doesn't make sense why people go into these groups and let's all hold together, but they're actually just going to fuck each other over eventually.
It's all clown world.
Yeah.
And then you get to the point where you have to realize, do I need more money or do I want to genuinely be a force for good in the world? And I don't need money. It's the last thing I need. So I'm not going to sell my soul. Logan's obviously a brokey. So he sold his soul like a punk. And now God, then he insulted God, which was great. I
didn't see that.
He robbed all his fans and then he sat there and insulted God. And now God's teaching him a lesson. And maybe he's take his atheistic ass and go look in the fucking mirror and understand that there's powers in his universe he doesn't understand. And he can stop being an arrogant piece of shit and he can apologize to his fans. He could take the last money in his little brokey bank account and refund it like a man would. That's what I'd do if they were insulting me. I'd go and say, look, here's my bank balance. I have this much money. I'm giving it to charity. Guy's a fucking punk. He just wants to continue to talk on podcasts and pretend his fans are going to care about him forever. Nobody respects that man any longer from the day he attacked me. Anybody who attacks me gets fucking wrecked. True Geordie lost every sponsor, got wrecked. Logan got wrecked. I'm divinely protected. These clowns need to just not say my name. So yeah, because they're people without morals. And if you have no morality on a long enough time scale, God will teach you a lesson. They're fucking morally bankrupt individuals. They're just sitting there, anything they can to grab some money from the world, fucking their fans over.
So what is the situation with True?
Yeah, how's your best mate, True Geordie?
Yeah.
I don't know. He lost all his fans for insulting me. He tried to say something about my conversion to Islam. He insulted me and lost all of his
I think he lost his fans before
Do you know what?
that as well. Yeah.
Do you know what? You don't bring religion into things, do you? Because that is your faith. My faith is my faith.
Yeah.
That's a personal thing.
completely.
It's just past free speech, isn't it? It's just
Yeah,
a
it's
weird
past.
thing to do. It's not about free speech. It's
exactly.
Just weird.
And he was so angry at me because I pointed out some truths about him multiple times. Me and him have a long history of internet beef. He made a video about me 5 or 6 years ago. And
Were you on True News or something like that?
And he made a video about me 5 or 6 years ago, and I countered his video saying that his video was distasteful. Then a bunch of screenshots came out about him with loving his some deviant sexual acts. I highlighted that to the public, which obviously upset him. So he doesn't like me very much. And I've said to him, look, we can settle this in the cage if you want to fight about it. Look, we can go and sell a bunch of tickets and I'll beat the living shit out of you. But he's of course scared. So instead he just does these little snidey videos, and because he's upset deep in his heart, he can't control himself, and he mentions me and he said things he shouldn't have said.
What a big pay-per-view that would be. You versus True Geordie.
I think people would be very disappointed in the 6-second show, but I'm like, I paid for this.
Would you keep it going a little bit longer or just end it straight away?
No, I would destroy it.
Not even for the fans. You wouldn't just keep it going.
I would destroy it. Yeah. But yeah, so that's the story.
What
behind
about if his mate was there helping him?
it. Oh, what, his little girlfriend? Fucking hell.
You can have both of them against you.
Right. Yeah, but you know what? It's really crazy as well, because all these podcasters and like Logan and Geordie, all this shit, I don't watch any of this shit. So they say things and it gets cut into clips, and I have a huge media team, and obviously there's a lot of people who work for me, and they go through it all and they put it together and they say, look, this is perhaps worth commenting on, or he said this, that. But I get a daily report on my social media presences and performances, and there's a daily report of how many times I'm viewed and et cetera, et cetera. And there's all the people who come for me at the bottom and mentions them. But I think a lot of it, truthfully, comes from jealousy. These people have been podcasting for a very long time and they've been famous for a very long time. And I've just come along and smoked them. I've just come along and just destroyed them. And they're sitting there like, shit, he's the top G. I'm a fucking nobody. I thought he was canceled. Why is he still getting more views than me? He's supposed to be gone. So they hate me, and it is what it is.
Yeah, they just can't understand it. So was being cancelled part of your 3-part plan?
I knew the cancellation was coming.
Yeah.
I was prepared for a cancellation. I'll be honest, because I'm human and I don't lie. I didn't expect it to come as hard as it did. I thought they might delete my account.
Yeah.
I didn't expect them to freeze 15 million pounds of banks. I didn't expect them to put a travel ban on me. I didn't expect like this kind of craziness. But you learn a lot. And I always knew that the world is, and the laws and the legal systems we live under are clown shows, and it's all a circus. And I always knew they're subjective bullshit. But when you're actually at the end of it and you're seeing how subjectively stupid laws are, it's ridiculous for them to sit there and say, Andrew said women can't park cars, so that's hate speech, so that's a crime, so that's bail, so that's a travel ban. Name a fucking dude who hasn't said women can't park. Like this is literally insanity. But the laws are all subjective. So when you're at the end of it, it's kind of interesting. I was prepared for it for a very long time. There's very old videos of me talking about how you can't live on one grid. You can't live off grid either. So the only way you can protect yourself is to live on as many grids as possible. So for a very long time, I was prepared by having multiple passports and banks all around the world and all that kind of thing. So they failed to damage me like they wanted to, but it was an interesting few months, that's for sure, yeah.
It was only recently I realised how in sort of contact the banks are with the law. And really, you look at it, they are just one, aren't they?
Completely. And none of the money's yours. I feel uncomfortable with a lot of money in my bank. So that's another thing. Like I'm now at the point where I don't really carry money at all. I don't have any way of paying for things because anytime I'm anywhere, I'm with like my PA or my security team, whatever. So it's almost weird how quickly you get used to like walking in somewhere, eating, and just walking out. I don't pay, and someone else sits and pays for me.
Sorts it.
So, yeah, so it's weird. I don't pay for anything. I don't have any money. I don't have any of that stuff anymore because
That sounds like true freedom, though. You don't have to worry about the money at all.
I don't look at the price of anything. I don't look at the price of anything. If a new car launches and I want it, I just say, give me this. And
Sort it.
yeah, literally, give me one. What options? All of them. Just tick every box, buy it. And cars turn up at the house that I've forgotten I've bought. And
When did you reach that level of wealth? Was it within the last couple of years, or were you at that stage beforehand?
I was always fairly well off, but in the last, I'd say 3 years, I got to a point where money is truly not real. Money has no value whatsoever for me anymore. So if I want something, I'll just buy it. And I spend ridiculous amounts of money on stupid things. I know if
So what are some stupid purchases?
No, but I compare it to my old life, right? Because I'm from a council estate in Luton. So me and Tristan will sit around and talk about how insane it is that we'll go to a hotel and we'll prefer the shower head in the suite as opposed to the normal hotel room. So instead of spending £3,500 a night in the normal hotel room, we'll spend £11,000 a night for the suite because of a shower head. And we're sitting there thinking $8,000 a night because of the shower head. Like, it's so unfathomable when you used to make like £1,500 a month and you lived in a council estate, and it's crazy, but money just has no value, and you just get to the point where you do whatever you want. And you also over prepare, you overspend. If I fly somewhere, let's say I fly to Marbella, I might want to go for a drive. So I'll get 3 supercars, put on a truck, moved from Bucharest, driven all the way across Europe, 4,000 kilometers, all the way to Marbella, taken out, put in front of the hotel, arranged. I'll go to Marbella on the jet. I'll sit there for 2 days. I don't feel like driving. The cars don't move. They get picked up again, put back on a truck, flown up. It's just, I have a security team, like everything. It's just, you just do it because money has no value. I might want it. So
who handles the logistics for that? Because that sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, life becomes, like I said, there's a lot of organization involved in the life, and you end up with a lot of staff and a lot of people around you who are good at these kind of things, and they become invaluable as part of the team. But yeah, there's people who organize it for me.
So if someone wanted to get to that level, what would you say their net worth would have to be to not worry about money and just buy whatever they want whenever they want?
Net worth is subjective, like we just discussed. I think it's more about how much and I don't even think it's how much money you have in the bank, because you can tear through any amount of money. It's how much money you're earning.
Okay.
I think a good life costs about $1 million a month.
Wow. That's a big figure.
$1 million a month is a good life. $500,000 a month is doable, and you can still live good. But if you want to really truly live like the best human experience, it costs about $1 million a month.
And is that earned income or income with your assets increasing?
That's income that you have coming into the bank that you can spend.
Okay, that you're taxed on as well. So it's slightly less than that, but
depending where you pay tax.
When I started my business, I was told by my mentor, what you've got to have a good life is 100,000 a month. That was 36 years ago.
Well, it's pretty similar now, maybe inflation and stuff, but I can give you, it depends on the way you're living, right? Because I told this story before on another podcast, but Dan Bilzarian messaged me and he said, look, let's hang out. I was like, all right, cool. And I was in Bucharest. He was in France. So by the time, I only wanted to go see him for a day. So by the time I got the jet, I wanted my security team to come. So I had to get the 4 security team, and they came and obviously had to pay their wage. And I put the cars on the truck to make sure they were waiting for me there in case we would decide to go for a spin. And then I landed with the security team, and everyone needs hotels. It's 8 people in a 5-star hotel. And then you're on the ground. You have to rent these V classes, armored ones to look after you. And you go, you see Dan, you talk to him for an hour, you have dinner, and then everyone gets back on the jet. By the time I saw Dan in a 48-hour whirlwind, by the time we moved the cars, which I didn't drive, and security came, etc., you spent $400,000. You spend $400,000 to go see your friend. Like
so would you class him as your friend?
Yeah. And that's how easily you can spend money. Like I could have gone Wizz Air. I could have gone by myself.
Could you have gone Wizz Air?
Well, no, but technically you could, and get a taxi or get the bus but you just don't, because money has no value, and this kind of
Andrew Tate flies Wizz Air. How many seats would that sell?
I should contact him, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Should let me fly for free.
Yeah.